Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Miko here, and I'm gonna tell you one thing. Actually, I'm gonna explain you one thing, and that's the famous moon feature that confuses too many. It is not hard at all, but it is unconventional. So, there's a new graphically revamped version of Death Poker you're looking at here, and let me tell you how the primary number one action works on your first turn, and then how the secondary, aka moon action works, and how it's depicted here. So, let's say you got these three cards that you're looking at on the screen here in your initial 5 hand cards dealt from the deck. This is your option to use a primary number one action when your turn comes. Looking at your initial 5 cards and you say, okay, there's a number one here. What are they? I could choose Shipment, Hold'em, or Scout. They have these headline names for the features and they are always on these gray backgrounds. And the definition is graphically what's on the gray background then. And that's also everything you can then do. Capture turn to say Shipment and do these three lines of text that are on the gray background, or Hold'em all of this text until the gray background ends here. And that's it. But a very classic example obviously is that you don't even get a number one to use for your first turn, and then when your turn comes you couldn't technically do anything, and the first thing you've been able to do for a while now is to do a basic swap. So you announce whether you don't have a number one or you don't want to use them, they don't go with your situation. You're going for the secondary option, and first thing you do, you say, I'm going to do a basic swap. It's also called constitutional swap because it's your basic right. And that implies that it doesn't say it anywhere. It doesn't say that anywhere, so you just have to know, hey, in this situation, I didn't get a very good starting hand by the actions that are there. So hey, let me just swap cards first to see what else I could do. But it would be boring if you would be out of actions because you were out of luck with good cards. So when you swap cards, then you might get number ones. And the number ones, yeah, they had the boxes we talked about. The gray boxes, say, the main actions, but they usually have these moon boxes. Because when you do that basic swap that doesn't read anywhere, you just choose to do that, that decision downgrades you from using the gray background boxes into using this hollow framed moon box. And one of them, and one only, if you will. So if you got this while swapping 3 cards because you chose to, then you could choose one of these. And the definition is if it's in the box with this little moon on the side, then it's a moon, aka late feature. So those come with the default swap, but from the initial cards you can use everything that's on a gray background. And that should be self-explanatory. Just ask you if it's on a background or in a box. So they can overlap, then they're part of both. They can be separate, then the gray main action doesn't have this, and the moon is not a cutout from that. So hey, really easy when you know it. Anyway, the game is better than ever. So let's get a couple of dicks running around and give it a spin and see you at the World Championships.